Wife support. Wife support. Welcome to Wife Support.
Hi, I'm Kaycee, Conlee, comedian, wife, and lover of the high five.
And I'm Amanda, Conlee, nonprofit exec, wife, and lover of a long walking phone call.
Oh, very nice. And this is Wife Support, a podcast about queer marriage, grown-up gay life, and all the messy, magical stuff in between. We are so glad you're here. Be sure to follow me on Instagram for polls, clips, and exclusive wife support I know you love when I say that.
Exclusive?
Exclusive wife support content. Comments?
Also
Wow.
could be comments.
Struggling today.
I mean, our friends are very nice about leaving comments.
Yes. Please follow me at Kaycee Conlee. Oh, speaking of comments, I got a message from a person in South America.
Oh!
In Spanish, so I had to translate. It was like
Did you just put it into Google Translate?
I did. Well, it came in my like requests on Instagram, and that's like where you get all the weird, like nasty stuff.
Yes.
So I was suspicious, rightfully so. But I saw it, and I was like, this seems like just like a person. And I couldn't understand the language. I was like, this is Spanish. Let me just see if it's not nasty.
It wasn't just boobs in the picture?
Yeah. Or like, well, whenever it's spam, it's always like a giant group message with a bunch of people. And that's usually how I tell. But so this one was like just a single person. And I was like, let me just translate this and see if it's something nice, right? And it was really nice. It was like, I love you and your wife. Like, you guys are so adorable. And I was like, ah. So after translating it, then I stupidly was like, let me translate back an answer. So I'll write it in English and get it to translate to Spanish and send it back to her. And so I started just writing like what I would say back. And I realized all I wanted to say back was thank you.
So you just wrote gracias?
Gracias. But like I was typing it out like thank you. And then I was like, yeah, of course that's gracias.
Yeah, you're like, I got nothing.
Yeah, so, but that was really nice. And I mean, cool that we have someone in South America listening or watching or whatever.
I mean, yeah, that's awesome.
I know. I was really delighted.
Far and wide is this wife support.
Yeah, or yeah, maybe. There's one listener in South America. We're like, we're international, baby.
For our 30 listeners.
Yeah, but whatever. Okay, so you know what it's time for now, which we've already dove into accidentally.
Oh no.
The dilly dally.
Katie's favorite part.
I love a dilly dally. It's true.
You literally, your whole life is dilly-dallying.
I know. Well, to be honest, the first two parts are just business. Like we got to stand on our business and talk about the what's gay results. We have results from episode 3, which was matching outfits versus asking if you're related.
Okay, which one won?
The matching outfits won, which should
that makes sense.
Should not have been surprising.
Yeah, not surprising.
And then what's gayer from episode 4, which was wearing a flannel to a Brandi Carlile concert or driving a Subaru to a Sparks game.
I mean, both so gay.
Yeah, I really wasn't sure which one the way this was going to go, and it was flannel at Brandi Carlile.
Okay, like overwhelmingly or pretty split?
No, it was split. It's about as split as we were. But I think what it came down to, as we discussed, was that a Subaru, not quite as definitively gay as a flannel.
Interesting. Yeah, I see
know.
that.
I don't know. Okay. I guess I don't know what drove the voting, but here we are.
Okay. Well, fun.
Now for the more fun dilly-dallying, which is we've been planning a vacation.
Yay! My favorite thing to do.
I know, your favorite. It's actually been an interesting, we're planning it, but like very early stages, and it's TBD.
And it would also, if it does happen, it's going to have to be like a very last minute trip, which is totally not my vibe.
Which is why you've started planning it,
yes.
Even though it's not officially confirmed. So, yeah, we're hoping to get to go to Italy is the plan.
Fingers crossed.
Italia. Yes, I have asked Amanda to pronounce one of the city names already. It was
Bologna.
Bologna, because I wanted to say Bologna. Or Bologna, or whatever
So basically, you don't speak when we go to Italy.
I think it might be better, yeah. But leave me to the South American fans, not the Italian ones. Yeah, so we're hoping to get to go in the next like month or two, and we'll see if it pans out. But there's a lot of variables, and in the meantime, what we're not sure, Amanda was like, well, if it's a green light, I want to have an itinerary.
Well,
basically.
Yes, nobody's shocked by this. And I also wanted us to be able to make decisions quickly. And so I needed to be able to have all the options laid out for us to be like, this, go. And then I would put it all together because, I mean, a trip like that, it's potentially a 2-week trip, 10-hour flight. Like, I wanted to have some options in there so that I could move really quickly if we're able to go and, be able to book the important things, flights, hotels, etc. whatever. I
I'm
realize
giggling because
Kaycee would have just been like, we'll figure it out when we get there.
no, that's not entirely true. I like to plan. But what's making me giggle is that the idea that you're turning a spontaneous trip into non-spontaneous.
Who's shocked?
That you're like, no, I don't like this idea of
No.
it's spontaneous in the way that any other international trip we would have been planning for like a year, and instead it's going to be maybe a month of planning.
Yes.
And so,
Which is probably good for me, honestly, so I don't like over plan it. You know what I mean?
babe, you already have an Excel spreadsheet that's like probably 50 cells deep at this
It's
point.
Google
so-
Sheets. Thank you very much. And listen, okay, what you all need to know is that Kaycee is a very visual human being. And so I can talk to her about all these different plans that we're going to do. And then she's like, wait, no, I can't make these decisions until I can actually see it. So part of this spreadsheet
okay.
I mapped it out on a map of like where each city would be in the different options so that she could visualize.
And honestly, I'd never felt so seen. That she showed it to me this morning. And by the way, she showed it to me on her phone with a caveat of, I can only show you this. I'm not sharing it with you yet because it's still in development stages, and she doesn't want me to like start making decisions or whatever yet. It's not ready.
Basically, I feel like until it's like we're a go, I don't want you to commit to it.
Okay. Well, you showed it to me, and underneath all these like different scenarios of like what cities we might visit in Italy, she had put like a literally Google map showing the like driving directions so I could see where like geographically they are. Like I don't know how else to like that is huge for me because that's usually what I go to do when she shows me an itinerary. I'm like, where are these? How far are we talking? I need to be able to see it. And yeah, I was like, you've taken your planning to the next level.
Thank you very much.
And incorporated my preferences in such a way as to I could have never dreamt of. I mean, it was impressive.
Marriage, baby.
I know. It's really, and it like, in truth, I think one of the reasons you're doing it, I hope, is that because it helps my excitement.
Yes.
So that I'm not like having these reservations where I can't picture it. And instead I can just dive into being excited.
Yes, and it quells my anxiety to have it planned. So it's a win-win.
It also is a great geography lesson for me because admittedly, when we started talking about different locations, like Greece was on the table and, you know, like Paris and London and all this. And I literally got on a map and I was like, where's Greece again?
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, I didn't tell you. I think I was on the phone with Marsha when it happened.
Okay.
Because they had just been to Greece. And so Marsha's my sister, by the way, my oldest sister who I'm very close with. And so I was talking to Marsha at the time and I was like, wait, where's Greece? And she goes, across from Italy at the bottom of the boot. And I was like, oh, thank you. But she was like, yeah, I only know because I was just there.
Could you even put Italy on a map though when you were thinking about this?
Yes, I could. Italy's one of the ones I know. Listen, I'll be honest with you because I don't know a lot of them. But like, it's funny how like going helps me.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I still cannot believe you've never been. You've been to Europe and you haven't been to
know.
Italy. Like, that's wild to me.
When Amanda and I were young, or younger, I should say, we're very young now too. But when we were in our 20s, we both did separate Europe sort of backpacking style trips.
The same year.
Within like a month of each other.
Yeah.
But your trip was a lot more hostel, not like hostel.
Hostel, not ILE.
Yeah, staying in hostels and what I consider backpacking.
Yes.
And mine was a little more like I have a suitcase and I'm staying in hotels for the most part. But you did do Italy and I didn't. So.
Well, we did Venice. That was the only city. But I had done Italy, like a larger version when I was 18. That was like my graduation from high school present from my parents.
But I'm just saying, because our trip was around the same time, we were around the same age, you, I think, assumed we did the same trip, and we did not.
We did not.
I did not do Italy.
Yep. I'm excited. I hope it gets to work out. And if it doesn't, then we'll do something that's local and shorter and still fun.
Yes. Okay. Love it. Also this week, in our dilly-dallying segment here, also this week, I put together some furniture.
Thank you.
I don't know if you'd even call it furniture. I put together a table. That's furniture. A little
furniture.
side table.
This blanket ladder's furniture.
Yeah, and then I put together a blanket ladder. But I don't know if I would call that furniture or more like an accessory.
It's decor.
Yeah. I mean, it's functional decor.
Yeah.
Because it will hang the blankets, and obviously...
It's also got it's got a little shelf on top, so we can, it's got a little... Honestly,
and some hooks that you plan to use for Christmas time.
The reason
no
we
doubt.
chose this blanket ladder is because it can be used for holiday decor.
Oh, I know exactly why we chose it. I'm on to you. Funny. Anyway, okay, furniture. We also have the last Dodger game of the season, the regular season coming up.
Well, last home game, so last of our tickets.
Right. The last of our tickets that, and,
They're on the road for a week.
we've already clinched the playoffs. Very good news.
Woo, go Doors.
Yeah, but it is going to be weird because this summer was so sports.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about that the other day with a coworker. I was just like, I think sportsed out a little bit. Like, I need a little bit of a breather, which is crazy because it's football season now.
Yeah.
And we're about to head into the playoffs. October baseball is the best.
Yeah, I know. With our season ticket package for the Dodgers, they offer us like a first chance at buying postseason tickets. And in the past, we hadn't done it. Last year was our first time, and we didn't buy tickets because there were too many variables about like when the game was going to be. And this year we were like, screw it, let's do it. Worst case scenario, we can't go, we sell the tickets.
Yeah.
But
which we've never done before. And I'm like, why didn't we do that? Like last year when it was like, I didn't want to buy the $900 World Series tickets. And then we saw them selling for $2,000. I was like, dang it.
Yeah, it's crazy. So this year we got 2 sets of tickets for two postseason games, and we'll hopefully get to go to at least one. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's exciting to see how it'll shake out.
Yeah.
I have one other dilly dally to.
Oh gosh, what?
Okay, it's important you know that she's mostly kidding.
Yes, I am kidding.
Okay, my other dilly dally is I had a very quick change of heart. Well, here's what happened. I had a show last night.
Leave us in suspense.
Yes, I had a show last night, and I was opening for Leno, which I get to do pretty often. It's very fun. It's really cool. And some friends were coming that are like big Jay Leno fans. And so that's even more fun is when like people are excited to see him, and I get to be like, because I can get kind of jaded as I do it every week now, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so these people were excited. So we went and met up before the show. And I was like, well, if we go somewhere in Burbank where the club is, I can meet up with you guys and hang longer. But if you pick somewhere else, it's harder for me to then get to the show on time. So hearing this, they picked a place in Burbank, and they picked a place that they have enjoyed and liked, and it was a tiki bar. And so immediately I'm judging, right? I'm super.
Yeah, you were on the way there talking to me. You were like, I don't know, why are we going to a tiki bar?
Well, okay. If you look at this tiki bar from the outside, it's along like a strip mall kind of thing, and it just is like, what? And I was like, when you go to a tiki bar, it's usually because someone in the group loves tiki bars. And
sure,
so that's
they're like novelty.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay. And honestly, from the moment I walked in, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to eat crow here. This is cool. So you walk in and it's like this little, just like greeter space, but everything's immediately themed out already, right? It's like all the tiki elements. Plus, what I learned was that they used to be a pirate bar. So there's
what?
Yes. So there's like
Whoa. We lived in Burbank for many years. How did I not know there was a pirate bar?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And so they had they had fused like the tiki elements into I guess some existing piratey vibes. It worked. It was cool.
All right.
We asked for a table because they're actually like a restaurant, and there was like a 45-minute wait. And so I was like, well, I'm not gonna be able to sit down to eat, but we can you guys can put your name in and then I'll bail. But they ended up being like, well, while you wait, you can sit in this lounge area, like their bar area, and you can order food to that.
Okay.
If you want.
Did you guys end up even having a table, or did you just eat there?
Well, I left. I don't think they ever got a table. But we're in the lounge area. We ended up sitting at this cute little cozy corner with a table. It was just on more of couches than dining room.
Sounds
area.
chill.
Yeah, but the decor, the vibes.
Was it kitschy?
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
Yes. But it was so fun. I really enjoyed it. I texted you immediately and was like, well, we're coming back here and bringing friends because this is so cute.
Fun.
But I got my drink was called the Saturn or something, and it was good. And then we shared appetizers and stuff. I got some tacos. Everything was tasty.
So moral of the story, tiki bar, cool.
I think I don't know about all that. That's not a hard
This
fast rule.
tiki bar, cool.
Yes. I think moral of the story here is stay more open-minded, maybe. Don't be quite so judgmental, Kaycee. But yeah, it was really fun, and I want to go back. It was called Broken Compass Tiki Bar.
Okay.
In Burbank, California.
All
and
right.
I have to say, I recommend. Get the Aloha Dippers. They come with different seasonings and dipping options, and I love a dip.
I do.
I love a dip.
Yep. And a potato thing to dip in.
Oh, God. Who doesn't love a potato thing?
Well, I'm sad I missed it, and you'll have to take me.
Well, you're not going to miss it because I'm taking you back.
Okay.
We're going.
All right.
Okay.
We have dilly-dallied.
We have
Shall we dive in?
Sufficiently dilly-dallied, and we can jump into our main topic today. We're talking about long-distance dating.
Oh, and this was a requested topic,
a request
right?
off the jam lines. It was, no, that's an old reference to like a radio thing I used to listen to, but it was, yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Do you remember, I think it was 106.7 jams in Orlando, Florida. They would take requests off the jam lines.
I was not listening to that.
It was a very local reference I just made. Anyway, this was a request. A listener, a friend, whatever, who wants to remain anonymous, suggested that maybe we talk about this, and I loved it immediately. I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. So we're going to talk about our long-distance love story.
Love at a distance, as she calls it.
Well, no, this is...
I love the idea that you were like, what's a good topic
No, that's... Okay, but you need to know that I did not write this. In order to make these lovely rundowns...
Did ChatGPT do this?
Yes. People watching at home can see my paper on YouTube, if you want to watch on YouTube. This rundown is helped by ChatGPT, which I always like have them get me started. Like ChatGPT gets it started, and then I clean it up tremendously and, finesse it. But that love at a distance line is definitely AI generated.
Okay.
So... so I guess we should probably start from where our story starts, which is how we originally met. Everyone always loves, okay, by the way, if you see us at a party and you ask us how we met, that is a different story and a story for when you have a little time.
Well, we will ask you, do you want the short version or the long version?
And I would implore you to request the long version. But that's not going to be shared on the podcast. We'll save that. No. That literally could be its own episode.
Yes,
so.
We're good.
If we tell it right, it takes like a minimum of 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to tell that longer version. That's for if you know us, please ask. But how we met originally though, we met as kids. Yeah, we were both living in a little town in Florida, outside of Orlando, Florida, and going to the same elementary school. Our neighborhoods were literally less than a mile away.
Not even. I mean,
we rode the same
it was
bus.
like on the bus route, I was the one stop and you were the next stop.
Yep. So we went to the same elementary school. You started in
second grade.
I don't think we met until maybe 4th or 5th grade.
I don't remember.
I don't think we met till later.
Yeah,
but we rode
the same bus though because Dimitri,
our mutual friend,
was your neighbor, and
Dimitri was my very good friend in my neighborhood, and Dimitri had a lot of classes with Amanda. So
yeah, we were in the same class from 2nd grade through 5th grade. So.
Dimitri and you,
yes,
not me and you.
No, we never were in the same class.
No, but what ended up bringing us together, like sure, the bus we probably knew of each other.
Yeah,
but what really initiated the friendship in my mind is my memory is not always the best, but it's because we played for the same rec league softball team.
Yeah.
And so it goes, lesbians meeting through softball, naturally. But we were kids, so 10 to 12 years old-ish. Mm-hmm. I actually didn't join the softball league till a little later because I had started in baseball. When I was interested in sports, we found a baseball league, and I played with boys. And then we found this softball league for girls, and I joined. And I think we didn't even meet then until the All-Stars.
Yeah, I started in this league basically as soon as we moved to this little town. And so I knew all of these girls and played in it for years. And then Kaycee joined. And yeah, I think you're right because we weren't on the same rec team that spring. But then when summer ball came around, you tried out and you made the team and I was already on the team.
Yes. So I was like the new kid coming in, the new girl that had played baseball or whatever coming in. I remember getting made fun of because I wore Umbro shorts or something because I had come from the baseball world and everybody was wearing sliders where you wear the tight shorts underneath and then shorts over top, and I was like, I didn't even have sliders.
Gosh, that's not even a thing anymore now. They all wear pants.
I know. But that was the style at the time, and I remember being sort of the outcast because I didn't know the style. And then, after I saw it, immediately was like, Dad, we have to get this. I have to fit in or whatever. But at the time, being kind of the oddball. But then we got on the same summer league, the All-Star team, as they called it. And that's the team that travels around and plays other cities and stuff. And that was really cool. And that was where I think our friendship was mostly formed. And actually, what's crazy is sometime last year, we were home at my folks' house watching home videos. And when I played travel ball, my dad, who was the one that was taking me to all the tournaments and everything, he was not the type that could just sit on the sidelines and watch. He would get bored. He was real antsy. And so he started taking videos and photos of all my games. And then it started being let me take videos and photos of everybody playing. And then at the end of the season, he would give printed photos of all the players, their each little albums and a little video of highlights of them, and became basically team photographer videographer, and it was like a hobby of his because it helped him entertain himself during these softball games, which I'm sure, I have memories of him climbing up on top of the dugout for like good shots.
Oh my gosh.
Like angles.
That must have been after I moved away.
Yes, he would bring a ladder so he could get up over the fence.
We don't do ladders.
Yeah. By the way, I'm sure if I look back on that, parts of it were humiliating.
Oh, probably.
But everybody loved the video and photos that he put together. Like it was, and cherished them to this day.
So
Obviously.
when you were home,
Yes. So when we were home, we were watching some home movies, and like I said, my dad had made made a lot of videos of us playing, and we're watching this like compilation reel, and all of a sudden this clip comes up where my dad is behind the camera talking, and you, Amanda, as a child, is talking to camera, right? And by the way, so immediately we all like kind of freeze while we're watching this at home, because I was like, oh, we had watching little clips here and there of me in the like infield and outfield or whatever.
I wasn't with you when you were doing this. Like, no, I mean, like I wasn't with you in Florida, and so you send me this after the fact.
I freeze. It's Amanda talking to the camera. My dad's like interviewing her, and she's so shy. I mean, you still are. She's so shy about like being talked to, and by the way, this is a rarity. My dad mostly just filmed us on the field, and so it's like the edge of the dugout, and we're talking. And at one point, your dad, who was one of our coaches, says something like "get back in the dugout" or like "you need to be paying attention to the game" or whatever. That's really funny too, to like have that little moment caught on camera. And then I jump in because I'm me and I need to be the center of attention and causing a ruckus, and sort of like jump in and jump across to like be on the camera. And you laugh and you're just like, "Oh, Kaycee."
Yeah.
And the way that my heart stopped when I watched that, I have it on my phone actually. I think I'll post it so you should, so you guys can all see it. But the way that you say my name and just like, I don't know, it's really. I mean,
are you gonna cry?
No, maybe. I've already cried over it, so I don't have to cry over it now in the retelling. But to have that moment on camera and with where we ended up is just wild to me.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, like we kind of like at our wedding, we had our 5th grade yearbook that had both of our photos in it. In the front of my yearbook, it says like, there's the parts where it's like my name is, my favorite color is, and it's one of the lines is my best friend is, and mine says Kaycee Smith.
Yeah.
So that's really fun. But
pre-marriage name.
We know each other in elementary school, play on the same softball team. At the end of 5th grade, I moved away. Anybody who knows me, I grew up in outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. And so we lost touch. And then in college, Facebook came out. Hello, we are dating ourselves. And
and when Facebook came out, if you recall, it was only college students. You had to have a .edu email address.
Yep. But so then like you're doing the thing where like you're searching for everybody you've ever known in your entire life on this thing. And so Kaycee and I connect on Facebook. She's at the University of Florida. I'm at the University of North Carolina. Hi, you remember me? Yeah. Oh my gosh, hi. We exchange AIM contacts.
Yep.
AOL Instant Messenger. What was your handle?
I think at the time I was Sportin' Cutie, probably. That was my OG Instant Messenger name. Eventually I changed it to like my nickname. But yeah, it was all caps sport, lowercase n, capital QT.
Okay. I was Beach Cutie 22.
Big fans of the cuties.
But it was QUTE.
Oh, okay.
Because all the
other
got
beach
gone.
cuties were taken.
Yeah. Anyway, so we connect,
By the way, what a little time capsule
of
everyone loving to be QTs.
God.
So absurd.
So we keep in chat a little bit, like, oh my gosh, hi, talk trash to each other about basketball, whatever. Because of that, we kept in touch with each other, and so we knew where each other were. And so after college, Kaycee was living in LA, and I was living in North Carolina still, and I had friends that were in grad school at UCLA. And so I knew Kaycee lived there, and we were going to the Tonight Show. Kaycee was working at the Tonight Show, and so I sent her a little Facebook message and was like, we're going to be in town, we're coming to the show, do you want to grab a drink? And she said yes, and
sure did.
There's a lot more to this story, but she said yes, and I mean, we hit it off, and that week we spent more time together that weekend, and then that was 14 years ago.
Yeah, and I feel like the best indication of how well we hit it off that weekend is that when the trip was over and you had to go back, I drove you to LAX.
At 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so on a Sunday.
I feel like you know there how much I liked you.
Yeah, now I do, yeah.
Because I drove you to LAX. But and then that was like the re-meeting we got together.
Yeah.
And now we're we're both liking each other, and she's back in Raleigh, I'm in LA, and we're texting. We're texting, we're calling. We haven't DTR'd, if you will.
Nope.
Defined the relationship.
Nope.
We have not defined it, but we are clearly smitten. I think I was like really taken, very attracted to you, enjoyed you. And we're texting like fiends, we're calling each other back and forth. And at one point, throughout all this, we're obviously having side conversations, or I was with some of my friends, about what this would look like. Am I going to be in a long distance relationship? And I think getting really scared about it. And I think too, if you dive a little deeper as we're getting to know, I'm finding out you're like out of something kind of serious.
Yeah.
And maybe that person's interested in you again.
I mean, those details, I don't think we need to rehash those.
We don't. But essentially, Amanda and I, for whatever reason, I get scared and kind of we like decide not to go for it.
Well, okay. I remember very distinctly standing on the corner and being like talking to you on the phone and being like, I thought clearly, like, are we going to do this thing? Are we going to try long distance? And you were like, no, I don't want to be long distance. And so because of that, I sort of was like, okay, she don't want to do the thing. Now, granted, totally. Like, it's so hard to do long distance. You have to like really be committed to that. You have to be all in. And if either of you is like hesitant at all, it's not going to work. And so that's the cue I read on it. And so I was like, cool, we're not going to do the thing. I'm going to date other people. We'll keep this going maybe a little bit, but like we're not doing it.
And the reason I brought up the other ex is because I was scared. And that was the big factor in that, is that I think I had just talked myself out of being in your league, or like being able to compete with someone who was right there that you had history with. But those details are not important. The bottom line is I got too scared. We decided not to go to be long distance. And so we were just like, okay, we'll be friends. And
friends.
Yeah, quote unquote friends. And the truth is, long story short,
we weren't friends.
We weren't friends. We couldn't just be friends. We were too drawn to each other.
Mm-hmm.
We would the oldest school thing ever. We would send each other mixed CDs of what we were actually feeling, with songs that had lyrics that were like trying to express what we were feeling but too scared to say.
Yep.
I think is really what it boiled down to. And then after enough of that, back and forth, and one very expensive call from Paris. I made a very expensive call while I was on that Europe trip we just talked about.
Yep.
And called Amanda, obviously drunk in Paris one night, and Amanda said, "Aren't you in Paris? Why are you calling me?" And I said, "Why do you think I'm calling you?"
And I said, "Oh."
Yeah. And then when I got back and it was less expensive, we talked again and decided to do it for real.
Well, and I came out to visit, and like that's kind of what inked it for us.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't like an easy go, and then
it was not. It was. We talked about how we stayed connected. How do we stay? Obviously visits. So the biggest thing was, fortunately at the time I was working for the Tonight Show, and the Tonight Show, the schedule worked where there were interim hiatus weeks. So I would have a full week off, paid essentially, and I could come and I would literally go visit Amanda and stay the whole week. And so I think that was a big way that helped. Also, every time we would leave, we would be planning the next trip.
Yeah, we always had I'll see you X.
Yes.
Coming. And so you had something to look forward to. It wasn't like this ambiguous. I think the longest time we actually went was because I was supposed to come, but then I got a job and decided to move.
Yeah.
And so we canceled that trip. So the longest time in between was actually the time between okay, I'm moving and then getting here.
Yeah. And that was maybe probably 8 weeks or something?
A couple of months,
I think we did a pretty good job. It was almost every other month seeing each other.
Yeah. Which
and we would take turns.
I don't know how we afforded that.
I don't know how we did either.
I was making zero money.
Well, do you remember one of the biggest ways we did it is the Priceline Name Your Price flights back in the day?
How can I ever forget?
Yeah, because so if you guys don't remember this, Priceline was basically like the old Kayak or old Google Flights, where you'd go on this website, Priceline, that looked at all the flights, and what they allowed you to do was say I want to go from Raleigh to LAX. These are my dates. I'll put in a bid, so to speak, or the price I can pay, and then they'll find the flight for that, or they'll do their best, right? And so we can
you are at the mercy of the schedule that they choose.
Exactly. You accept whatever flights they give you is the caveat.
That first flight that I took out here, I did that, and
you were here for 36 hours.
Yes, I landed in LA at 9 p.m. Pacific on Friday, and then I left at 6 a.m. on Sunday.
Yep.
It was the biggest whirlwind
Yep. But we saw each other.
Yeah.
And it was like and that being the first trip, it was like a big grand gesture that made me like, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah.
It felt like for real. But
Thank goodness for the Southwest credit card, because otherwise I don't think we could have done
I know,
it.
seriously. Well, I think so. And also at the time we were doing like full on airport pickups and airport farewells where I would take you all the way to, which
Could never do that now. It's too expensive.
no, I remember when I came to visit you and you like getting out of the car and coming into the airport to get me, which I was like, this is romantic.
That's
and
cute.
not just like curbside pickup. Yeah.
Raleigh Durham International, a little bit different than LAX.
Yeah, but still, I just remember being like, it was such a wonderful reunion to arrive and like run into your arms.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was
nice.
nice.
I know that, I think we covered this a little bit in the last episode, but like the way we would text like crazy, it was like, if we were both awake, glued to the phone, texting.
Texting like fiends. And then also during the day, we would use GChat, right?
Oh, yeah.
So during the weekdays, we were like constantly on GChat.
It was like the newfangled Instant Messenger, because Instant Messenger was phased out at the time.
Yeah, so that was basically a chat system within Google email.
I mean,
Gmail.
they still have it.
They do, but I don't know if people are even aware of it because it's just not a big tool.
Unless you're at some companies I've been at where like that's
They
their...
use it as like...
You're like, yikes.
Yeah. So GChat was big. Also, this is my favorite to throw out there. This was pre like FaceTime. I don't know if FaceTime existed, but it just wasn't popular. But we used Skype. We would have Skype dates.
I think FaceTime came out at the tail end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would have Skype dates where it would be literally like, sit down at your computer.
Oh my gosh.
At this time, I'm gonna call you, and then I remember you would have Colby, and you would like put him in your lap and like have
Make him
do
tell
this
you a
stuff.
story.
Yes.
Colby was my dog, our dog, but my
Your
dog
dog
first,
first,
and
yeah.
then he passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, and this, it's just wild to think of how we made that work. But I truly think the biggest part was like we were smitten. It was. I'll never say it was easy, but I think it was as easy as it could have been with any other person. Like I don't think it would have been like that with. We just were in it, and we were like both committed, and there was obviously lots of challenges like we're talking about here. Like time zones was a big one. I mean, you would go to bed and I would have like a lot more nighttime. You would wake up and I wouldn't be up for a few hours. And
Yep. I mean, in some ways though, that was kind of good because it's like it did allow you to live your life a little bit.
Yeah.
Without feeling like, oh, I'm stuck to this phone because I want to be available, and like, I mean, granted, a little bit of that was like self-imposed, but it was like if you were awake, I wanted to be talking to you.
Yeah.
And so the couple hours on either end, you were able to live your life a little bit.
Yeah, and then have something to talk about when it comes time.
Yeah.
But also I remember talking to you about like, I really wish I could pick you up for a date. I really wish I could like meet you out for a drink and just like those little, like just hold your hand while we're
Or just like, hey, do you want to come over and like have dinner and watch this? I think Gossip Girl was like the thing I was watching at the time.
Just those little like dating moments. But what helped is whenever we missed those things or felt like we were missing out, I remember saying like, we will have them eventually.
Yeah.
It was like, well, we're going to like, one day we're going to live in the same city and we'll do all that.
Yeah.
And
well, and those are the things I think that happen to anybody long distance, no matter when. Like these are when we talk about like texting, Skype, airport, like all that stuff, that's what worked for us in the time that it was, which was the early 20-teens, and at 25 years old. Like I wonder what it would be like now in 2025 with the way the world has changed, and as an older human being, like your lives are a little bit busier, you don't have as much time to be glued to your phone, maybe you have a little bit more disposable income.
Yeah, I'm
like
definitely not on GChat.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think the keys are making sure you set up like regular communication, you plan time together in whatever way that works for you, for your budget and for your needs, and you just like, you commit to the things that you need to do to stay connected.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of, you have to like have that trust and be committed to building it because that's what it takes for a long distance relationship is communication and trust.
And boundaries, like creating what those are. Like if you have hard and fast things, communicate them. You have to say them because you don't have the time together where you can like make a little mistake and learn. It's like if you make a mistake, you made a mistake.
Yeah.
Long distance.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but that's also kind of, I think, what benefited us later is being forced into this communication method.
That's true. We'll go ahead and talk about it. Yeah.
Okay, so like obviously one of the biggest things that we took away was our ability to like talk about any and everything. Like there that's all we had in the beginning were phone calls and text messages and all that. And so it forced us to talk. I think it slowed down our relationship. We
Couldn't do the lesbian U-Haul.
We could not U-Haul. And we also, I mean, not to be too graphic, but like we couldn't be super physical all the time.
True.
And so when that's removed, you're forced to just enjoy each other and get to know each other.
I mean, that's when you really feel like you figure out, do I actually like this person?
Yes, because if you're only getting to have the physical stuff every other month when we visit,
Yep.
you have to have all that others to sustain you for the rest of the time. And I think, I mean, gosh, I wouldn't change a thing. It really bonded us. And yeah, I think it gave us a deeper understanding of each other because we only had that method. And
It's so funny. It's like when we like listen to other friends talking about issues they're dealing with or like problems that they're having, or usually it boils down to like communication mishaps.
Yep.
And I just feel like I feel so lucky that we figured that out so early on, and we were grown up enough and like over time figured out how to evolve and adapt to each other's preferred communication styles, that like that's never really been an issue for us. Also, thank you to therapy. Helps for that.
Yeah.
But like we typically, if we're having a fight about something, even if it's like spur of the moment, we can usually take a step back and then come back together and work it out relatively quickly because we know how to communicate to the other one so that we hear each other. Because we had to learn that so early on.
And I want to point out that you're talking about fights. We're not perfect.
No.
It's not all smooth sailing. We have our arguments. We're still, two adults in a relationship with differing opinions and all that. But I do think that foundation, and even just, I remember, to give you a specific, is like when we would fight early on long distance, you always wanted space. Mm-hmm. We would have a fight and you'd be like, I need to process this, decide how I feel about it. I don't want to talk. And I am the person that's like, no, let's just fix it. Let's just talk through it and fix it right now. And I don't want to live another moment where you're upset with me. I want to fix it. And I'm often, this is something I've talked about in therapy. I'm often like too quick to apologize, where it can feel insincere on the other side. But it's just me wanting to like get back to happy and get back like, hey, I realized what I did wrong. I'm ready to apologize. Let's move on. And you're like, I need to process this and decide how I feel. And I don't want to talk about and say something I don't mean. And I'm like, I want to process this all externally at you.
Well, and I also feel like that sometimes does you a disservice, because maybe you're quick to apologize, and like once you've like really sat and thought about it, are you actually sorry? That's the thing. It's like, it's not always your fault.
Well, but the moral of the story here is learning that our differing approaches to that and meeting in the middle. Or, sometimes Amanda can say, you know what, yeah, this is small enough. I don't need to process it.
Yeah,
I'll
we're fine.
Deal with it.
I'll just get over it.
Yes. And then sometimes me saying like, I need to give Amanda space here.
Yes, when you talked about being an external processor, and what I have had to learn over the years, and I still have to learn, like remember it to this day, is like, you want to say all the things that are immediately coming to your mind as you process it as they're coming, and you don't always mean everything you say. You're like trying it on.
Yes. It's like I'm in the fitting room.
But like the way that I am, I take what you say like as law.
Yes.
And so like if you say something, I had to really, and I still have to, like, you say something, I have to be like, hang on, don't like subscribe any meaning to this yet.
So valid. Also, I have seen how this is true in my daily life, like even like at work or at the comedy clubs and stuff, where like somebody will ask me a question and I'll start answering just like, this is me processing, and then I'll get to the end and I'm like, oh no, this is how I feel. So it's like, I'm like, why am I answering? I should just think about this. Like, I'm pulling Amanda. Think it through first.
I mean, I will say, like, yes, I'm an internal processor. I want to, like, sit and think about it. Also, that comes about because, like, historically in my life, I used to have a very bad temper. And I would fly off the handle, say things I don't mean, lose my shit. And I worked really hard to try to be better about that so that I didn't do that and, like, try to get it under control. And so that's, like, one of the coping mechanisms that I have is, like, take a breath, take a beat, take a step back, think about how you really feel, formulate it in a way that you can say how you feel without, like, clearly, concisely, and in a way that someone else will understand.
It's actually interesting you bring this up because I know this about you. We've talked about how you had this, but I think my re-meeting of you as an adult all happened when you were already aware of this and working on it. And so I don't have a lot of experience.
There were a couple.
Yeah, I don't have a lot. I didn't say I didn't have any. But I don't have a ton of examples of this. I just know of it and the way you talk about it. And then I have a few smaller examples, but luckily I have a short memory.
That's good. That's good.
One thing I also want to talk about that I think learned from this is when you are long distance, you basically, it's almost like you have sort of this like shadow relationship where you're operating as a single person in the world. You're moving through the world, you're making plans, you're doing whatever you want to do when you want to do it. You're basically, like, obviously you're not really single, you can't go out and meet people and date, but like, you're independent.
Yeah.
You're autonomous.
Yep.
And then, but you have this intimacy at the same time. And then when, eventually we'll talk about the turning point and deciding to move together, that was an adjustment.
Yeah.
It's because all of a sudden you're, in a real relationship that's right there, and there's check-ins and you're accountable and all that. And it's very different.
Yeah, let's just dive into that, shall we? So we dated long distance for a year and a half, and we did all of these things. And at the beginning, it was sort of like, this is something I will say, like, you don't have to decide it right away, but like, in my opinion, I don't think you enter into a long distance relationship unless there is some sort of communication that happens early on that, like, if this is going to work out, you're going to eventually have to be together, and you can figure out what that means, but like, you have to be open to that. And for us, you were in Los Angeles, you wanted to be in television, like, that was where you had moved and where you wanted to be. And I knew I wanted to leave Raleigh. I wanted to get out and experience something different. I didn't really have a calling as to where. I was pretty open, and so I was like, yeah, I could try LA. And so when it was time, we were like, I'm done with this long distance thing. I'm also ready for my next adventure. Like, it's time. I'm gonna look for a job. I'm not gonna move without a job because that is not who I am. And so
reminder about the Italy itinerary,
yes.
guys.
And so, like, we talked about that. You said, okay, yeah, I'm ready too. And I started and I found one, and then I moved. And I think how we knew it was time was like, we were ready to take our relationship to the next level, and we could verbalize that to one another. It was like, we were done with the back and forth thing. We wanted to give this a real go. And one of us was going to have to make a big sacrifice to do that. And at the time, I was willing.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful. And I think that is probably not said enough too, that whoever is changing, or if you're both, whatever, it's like to show gratitude and appreciation for that life change, because I know you're saying you wanted to leave anyway, you wanted to go somewhere, but to uproot your whole life and leave your family and all your friends. I remember leaving your friends, you were so tight with them. And I remember thinking, like, that friend group was awesome. I loved visiting. And I was like, I get it. You're ingrained. And to like give that all up for me was not lost on me, the sacrifice that was. Even if you did want to see a little bit of the world, it's still a huge move and really hard.
It was really hard, but I think you were really great about that, and like, you would recognize it. And when you gave me the space to be sad, and
yeah, you
let's be
were
honest,
homesick. You were homesick.
I was homesick for a long time. Also, LA is a very hard place. Spoiler, if you're new to Los Angeles, or if you're moving to Los Angeles, you have to give it at least a year to even decide if you like it. 2 years to really feel like it's yours.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know that, but you would remind me of that, and you would even say too, you were like, doesn't have to be forever. If this isn't it, this isn't it. But like, let's give it a try.
Yeah, and I think probably, as in anything, knowing there's an escape route if needed can really make it easier. Because I wasn't even like, I was like, this is where I want to be for now, but it doesn't have to be forever. And I also knew at the time how happy you made me, and so I was like, if she's miserable here, let's figure that out.
Yeah.
And so, but luckily, it's crazy as it worked out so well that when we did eventually decide it was time to go from LA, we swiftly came back.
Yeah. Because it buried itself deep, deep into our soul.
It did. It sure did. And
I love this place.
Now it's home through and through. But yeah, pretty wild. And also, in case I didn't say it clearly enough, I'm so glad that you made that decision and came here for me, because look at us now.
I know. I'm glad I did it too. Like, it was a turning point in my life, and like, changed the trajectory of the person I was to become. And I have you to thank for that.
I love you.
I love you too. Okay, so what's some like stuff that we learned that we maybe continue, or that like people can take away from this?
Well, I think we've covered a lot of this already.
Oh, well, you know what? I think like one thing we learned that we haven't really talked about a lot is like, when you are long distance, you don't have a lot of those experiences of like the only thing you have together to go off of is these like longer times together that are very intense.
Oh, right.
You're like basically on a permanent vacation during those times. And so it's like you're together 24/7, you're doing things that are outside of ordinary life because you're like, we're visiting, we got to make the most of it. You're like out doing activities. That is not regular life.
No.
And so when I moved and we had to sort of like figure out that, like you mentioned, you're no longer living that independent lifestyle where on the outside you look like you're single. Even if you're connected thing, you have to like figure out, okay, I am now a person that operates with another human being that has expectations of my free time. And so how do you navigate that between work, other friends, family obligations, etc.? And so like,
And even just the like boredom. Even
Yeah.
just the like, we're coming home. What are we gonna have for dinner? Like, there's nothing to do. We're gonna watch something on TV tonight.
or like
any of that.
And then like, even like, you know, early stages, you don't live together, right? Of like, when am I going to see you? What's the right amount of time to spend together? Okay, if it's Friday night and I want to go do something else, but you want to spend it with me, how do we navigate that?
And I know we talked about this, but us not moving in together right away
Yes.
was a huge factor, I think, in our success. I know we talked about this already, and I think in the first episode, but
Yeah.
that was also big, is that we had a chance to figure out how to date as a regular couple in the same city before having to be in the same house. But yeah, it was all really right. Good lessons learned. It's easy to go back in hindsight and be like, we crushed this, and it was all, look at all the stuff we learned.
It was
we're
not
perfect.
always
Yeah,
sunshine and rainbows.
No, for sure not. And if you know us well enough, if you were there through it, you know.
Yep.
If you know, you know.
Yep.
But we made it. And I'm curious, too, after talking about this, especially after having somebody request us talk about this. Listeners, what do we decide we're calling our listeners? Wives? Do we?
We have not talked about that. I don't think we should call them that.
No, supporters? What do we call them that's like wife support is the name?
Maybe you should throw up a poll.
Oh, okay. What do you guys want to call yourselves? That's what you should decide. Anyway, I'm curious if any of you were ever in a long distance relationship, or maybe if you're in one now. I would love to hear about like what you did or didn't do or learned or whatever. And maybe we could read it on the pod.
I would
anonymously.
love to hear how long distance relationships work as an older human being and in 2025.
Yeah.
Like, what is that like?
This would be a really cool part of, I know I always joke about the exclusive wife support content on my Instagram, but I really mean that. Like, use my page. I'm not going to make a wife support podcast Instagram. I don't want to juggle multiple accounts. So use my page as a wife support page and share stories with us. I mean, I could do something anonymously where I could share it on here without telling you who it is, but I would love to hear, you know, some advice or some thoughts from other people.
Does that take the place of dilly-dallying?
Oh, look at that. Amanda's already gave in to get rid of dilly-dallying. We can call it follow-ups or something. But yeah, I would love to hear from you guys. So share that with me. Or Amanda, I suppose. You could also share with her. I feel like people might be more inclined to share with you because you're just easier to talk to.
Okay.
You are. But either one of us is okay.
My DMs are open.
Oh, there you go. That's like the jam lines.
Did I say it right?
Yes. Yeah, so I'm at Kaycee Conlee. Do you want to share your...
Okay, I'm at Conlee22. And Conlee is 2 E's.
Yeah, Conlee. Yeah, so message us. And then it is time.
It is time. For What's Gayer?
What's gayer?
What's more gay?
All right, it's time. What's gayer? 2 options, 1
Wait,
winner.
can we show again?
Yeah,
Kaycee has decided I am not allowed to see, and so she blacks them out on
If you're
my
watching
rundown.
on the YouTube, Amanda has held up her rundown where I blacked out the choices. It's just more fun when you get to like play.
Okay.
Okay, what's gayer? 2 options, 1 winner, 0 heterosexuals. This week's matchup, flying cross country for 36 hours together. Does that sound familiar?
Oh, to spend 36 hours
Yes.
together. Okay.
Flying cross country to spend 36 hours together.
Oh,
or
boy.
falling asleep on FaceTime.
Oh.
Dun dun dun.
Wow. I
By the
think
way,
it's
I was
falling
just-
asleep on FaceTime.
Oh, I was going to say both of these are kind of romantic.
They are kind of romantic, but I think falling asleep on FaceTime is definitely a thing. Because, like, that's something that happened.
Oh my gosh, multiple times.
So a little bit.
I would say I fell asleep on the phone more than I fell asleep on FaceTime.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. It's pretty gay, though, for a woman. I'm going to say that not even what's more gay, what's more lesbian.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just stay on the phone, even though you're exhausted,
Just to
because
hear
you
each
just
other
don't want to
breathing.
hang up.
Just to hear each other breathing.
I want to hear your heartbeat.
Pretty gay.
Pretty gay.
Okay, or You know, you did this flying across.
I
country?
did do that.
Yeah.
I don't recommend.
Okay, so you're saying falling asleep on FaceTime?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. I
100%.
think that's pretty good. All right, well, vote on my Instagram story at Kaycee Conlee. The polls go up on Tuesdays when episodes come out, so don't miss them. They're only up for 24 hours, so you got to vote.
Wait,
On
should
Tuesdays.
I do this thing? Maybe you get to play a couple times where like I'll choose it and black it out
mean-
for you?
If you want to.
Okay.
If you were going to do that, you're going to have to embrace it as your favorite segment a little bit more.
Wow. Okay.
Also, by the way, if you intro it, then you can call it What's More Gay.
Yay! Okay, I'm doing it.
All right, next week you're doing it.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you'll share with us some long distance relationship stories, some faux pas, maybe, whatever you've got. And I hope you enjoyed listening.
I also want horror stories. Tell me the tea.
Oh, Amanda wants the goss.
I want the hot goss.
Okay, I actually want that too, but I'll take it through Amanda, however you want to deliver it. Yeah, and thanks for sharing. Share this with someone that you know that loves long distance relationships, someone that's in one, or someone that's a hopeless romantic, or someone that hates them. Whatever. Just share it with your friends, please.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching or listening.
Thanks. This is Wife Support.
I'm Kaycee. Bye.
I'm Amanda. Bye.